Breathe. Please. Haven't eaten in days. I'm not giving up. Still here. Can't stop. Not yet. One more breath. One more step. Then I'll rise and finish this.
Gohan rushed out of the house, hastily throwing on his battle clothes without order. His heart pounded like war drums, every step echoing the fear pounding in his chest. In front of him, standing in the open field, was a massive being. Unlike anything he had ever seen, a mysterious aura surrounded it, yet no readable power level emanated from it. Gohan froze, his brow tense, and he said sharply, "Who are you?" The creature didn't reply at first. Silence filled the air. Then finally, it spoke in a deep, grinding voice that sounded like moving stone.
Your clothes are strange. Are you truly Saiyan? What is your name?
Gohan answered with a mix of anger and pride. Son Gohan, son of Son Goku. The creature's slow, terrifying smile appeared, not friendly at all. It looked at him with an ancient gaze, as if reading his bloodline through his veins, and said coldly,
Clearly, you are not the one who awakened me from my slumber. Your power is weak, very weak.
Then, with a hint of mockery, he added,
Anyway, tell me, who destroyed the Saiyan planet?
Gohan's expression hardened, fury rising in his chest. If you don't tell me why you came to my home... He couldn't finish. Zardok raised his hand calmly and pointed toward him. Even from afar, without touching him, Gohan felt a deep, piercing hum inside his skull, a headache born from bone itself. He froze. His fists clenched the air. He shouted, "Stop it! Stop!" Zardok halted, his tone colder than steel.
I am not here to play. I think I'll go to another Saiyan. I can sense his power hiding like a rat.
He began to walk away, his steps shaking the ground beneath him. Gohan stood up, his body trembling, his voice cracking. "Please, wait! I have one request. Train me, and I'll tell you who destroyed the planet." Zardok laughed, a cold laugh that sliced through the silence like a blade. Then he spoke, as though delivering an ancient verdict.
I could extract that information without helping you, but since you might be a descendant of my bloodline, I will grant you something far greater than training. Something that multiplies your strength beyond belief.
Gohan stammered, startled by the words. Descendant? Something greater? I don't understand. But then he remembered his purpose, his father. He forgot his fear and replied with a grim resolve. If it can bring my father back, I accept. Zardok smiles slowly, a deadly smile.
I will give you one drop of my blood. Just one. It will either let you control power beyond measure, or kill you instantly. Do you accept?
Gohan's heart thundered. There was no turning back. He said hoarsely but firmly, No choice. I accept. I'll do anything to bring my father back. In the moment that followed, Zardok gripped his hand with inhuman strength, his skin rough like stone. From his palm, blood began to flow, each drop vibrating with dreadful energy. The ground sizzled wherever the blood fell. Zardok lifted his hand, the dark red drops glowing faintly, and said in a voice as cold as death,
"Drink it, and let your body decide whether you deserve to live."
Gohan approached, his heart trembling, throat dry, yet he swallowed the drop. The instant the blood touched his lips, everything inverted. It was as though light itself died in his eyes. A faint gasp escaped him, then turned into a scream that tore the sky apart. He fell to his knees, clutching his stomach as if a fire raged inside. His face twisted, his eyes rolled back, veins bulged as though bursting from within. Ah! His body convulsed violently, unbearable heat rising from within until a dark red steam enveloped him. His breathing turned ragged, his voice fading into the void. He collapsed completely, his mouth bleeding, trembling as he tried to endure, then suddenly spat out a thick stream of blood. He froze, eyes open wide, his last scream swallowed by the void.
Silence. No wind. No sound. Only Gohan's lifeless body lying on the ground, blood dripping from his pale lips. Zardok approached slowly, his eyes void of mercy or surprise. He whispered, almost to fate itself,
As expected, my blood spares no weakling.
Then he looked toward the horizon and murmured,
It seems I'll have to hunt down the other Saiyan myself.
There was no sky, no earth, only an endless sea of blood stretching into eternity. Gohan's body floated on its surface, his face smeared, his senses fading. Then a faint whisper reached his ear, a voice from nowhere.
Come, I have something to show you.
He opened his eyes in terror and screamed, trembling uncontrollably. His breathing was ragged. Slowly, he lifted his head and saw his reflection in the blood. But it wasn't his face anymore. Strange symbols were carved into his skin, his body marked like a map of torment. He stumbled backward, but the blood clung to his legs, holding him in place as if alive. He shouted with a trembling voice, "Where am I? What is this place?" No answer, only whispers growing louder around him, as though spirits were speaking from beneath the surface. He raised his eyes and saw enormous skulls floating before him. He backed away, trembling. Then a deafening, inhuman scream shattered the silence. The blood itself boiled from the sound.
At that moment, Gohan stood up despite his fear, clenched his fists, and whispered, "No, I can't die here. Father, I'm still fighting for you." He began to walk through the bloody sea.
What is this place? It's alive. The walls, they're breathing. I can feel something watching me. I need to stay sharp. Every step feels heavier. Whatever this is, it's trying to pull me in.
Each step made him sink deeper,
each breath heavier, as if the air itself were burning. He saw skulls lined up on both sides, endless rows, their mouths open, smiling at him as if waiting for his fall. And at the end of the path, a tall black castle appeared, rivers of blood and volcanoes flowing around it. Gohan decided to move toward it. It was his only path. He approached until he stood before the castle's gates. Iron, engraved, and massive, he moved closer slowly, fear crawling through his veins like poison. But deep inside, that weak voice, the one carrying his father's name, his clear purpose, whispered for him to keep going, no matter the cost. There was only curiosity in his heart. The sound of the gate was like the scream of a soul tearing through a grave. As he neared the door, it opened slowly, terrifyingly, without him touching it. The creak echoing through the air, as if the world itself was in pain. His footsteps echoed in the dark corridor, but before he could even breathe, the door slammed shut behind him with a violent crash. Gohan turned quickly, tried to open it with all his strength, but it was useless. The metal was alive, pulsing, as if the castle itself was swallowing him whole. Then he turned forward and found a dark staircase. His anger grew, his resolve to save his father hardened, and he continued walking, the marks of determination carved on his face. Upon entering the castle, the first thing he saw was another massive gate, completely different from the previous one, shaped like a giant mouth with crooked white teeth, behind which a red moon glowed, dripping blood as if it smiled to devour him. He realized it was the source of all those seas of blood. Gohan froze where he stood, veins screaming with terror. The voices around him whispered for the first time, clearly and eerily.
Enter. This is where the true test begins.
Once he stepped inside, silence filled the place.
Gohan walked hesitantly through a dark cell, the dim light of a broken torch barely tracing his shadow on the stone walls. The massive mouth behind him had closed, and now he knew there was no way back. He had entered alone, searching for the source of the mysterious energy he felt here, not knowing that he had stepped into a gate from which no one returns. The air changed suddenly, heavier, as if something was watching him. Rows upon rows of giant statues, some holding swords, others spears, some staring directly at him with cold stone eyes. And at the far end of the hall sat a colossal statue on a throne of shadows, its face a blend of skull and horror.
They're too big. I shouldn't be here.
Gohan took a single step forward. On the wall before him, glowing words appeared, igniting as he touched them. He hesitated, looked around. No sound, no movement. but something inside him whispered,
These aren't words. This is the awakening.
Then, the unimaginable happened. The eye of the statue sitting on the throne opened. Eye, cold, red, staring directly at him. The air froze. Gohan's heart stopped for a second. Then came the sound of heavy footsteps. One of the statues on the left began to move. Then another and another, until the entire hall filled with the grinding of stone and the echo of merciless iron. Gohan stepped back, panting, trying to understand. When the first strike of a stone spear pierced the ground before him, shaking the entire hall, he began to run. Every step collided with the echo of death behind him. The statues moved slowly, but never stopped. To the untrained eye, they seemed sluggish, but they were always closing in. Gathering his will, Gohan began to fight with all his strength against those statues.
Stay down. Not happening. You want to punish me? Try harder!
But there was something strange. The giant statues rebuilt themselves every time they were destroyed. The battle was endless. He stumbled and fell, looked behind him. One of the statues raised a massive stone sword toward his head.
Damn it.
He screamed, leaped to the side at the last moment. The blade split the ground, shaking the place like an earthquake.
Can't stop now. Keep moving. Not over yet.
Blood flowed from his arm. One of his limbs had been torn. Gohan, lying on the floor, rose slowly. He refused to surrender. He didn't feel pain, only pure fear.
He shouted loudly, "You, the one sitting on the throne, if you can hear me, stop this. I know you're the ruler here." Suddenly, the statues froze, all of them motionless, as if obeying. They stepped back and solidified in their places again. Gohan raised his head slowly and saw the statue on the throne tilt its head toward him, as if it was smiling. Then he heard a strange echo inside his mind, not a human voice, but a broken, celestial whisper.
Prove you are worthy of life.
The statues began to move again, but this time slower, as if watching his obedience. He spoke with a trembling voice. "I want to become stronger. My father is waiting for me. Can you make me stronger, or are you just a statue like them?" Darkness swallowed the hall. Silence lasted for what felt like a lifetime. When Gohan turned and opened his eyes again, his body was covered in blood, but he felt nothing. Before him, a red light window appeared
glowing in the dark.
You have been chosen as the first to obtain the instinct of kings. Prove you are worthy, or this curse will kill you.
All the statues froze in their places. Gohan raised his head slowly and saw his trembling hand. Something inside his heart began to change. Then came the roar, a monstrous scream behind him.
I am awakened.
A giant creature grabbed him in its hand and ripped his heart out mercilessly. But the real horror came when it replaced his heart with a black stone crystal. And once it was done, it threw him to the ground.